Right. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night. Whatever time zone you are on, we are live. A moment of silence for all those who have lost their lives, and to the 9 kids who died in the Bronx in New York in a house, in an apartment fire, and the others. Okay, daily there are people transitioning from the earth, and always want to take time to do that moment of silence because somewhere somebody's grieving, hurting, and in pain. Now, having said that, those of us who are on this side and we still have breath in our body, let's remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, we can go up. With that being said, you see the title, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, case in Albany has been dismissed due to lack of evidence, or the prosecutor saying they didn't have enough evidence. They didn't have enough evidence to bring that case or file the charges anyway. With that being said, let me go ahead and get to the music, and we're going to get right into this. Again, hopefully everybody's doing the best that they can in the situation that they are in, but we always remember this. If we can look up, we can get up. If we can get up, that means we can go up. All right, so let's get started. Somebody say recompense. Say recompense. Let's go. Freedom. Happy New Year to you. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Cha-Cha. Somebody song? That's the name of the song. Damien Escobar. Why you saying freedom? Say rest. That means they gotta pay with interest. Let's go. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. We break this volume down just a little bit. We like freedom, don't we? Okay, let me cue up the video to Cuomo again. Hello, everybody, and happy New Year to you too, Wild Boy, Mac. And I know I say it flipped. And Brenda, Brenda, how are you? Michigan in the house. Michigan is in the building. Cha-cha. Bushes. All right. Okay. Again, it's said often over here, conspiracies, theories, allegations, speculations are not evidence. Unfortunately, the United States jumped on the bandwagon of what was supposed to be a Me Too movement and believe all women in whatever they wanted to deem themselves. However, at the end of the day, concrete evidence and where the evidence leads should still stand. Because anybody can jump on a bandwagon, but everybody can't have integrity and walk it out. Now, with that being said, let me make sure this is nice and cute in the background. All right, and we'll get into it. I'll say it again, speculations, allegations, conspiracies, he say, she said, is not evidence. Anybody's mouth can lie. Lies can roll off somebody's tongue as freely as I am speaking right now. And unfortunately, some people don't have enough integrity not to lie. That's one. Number two, some people are fearful and they create a lie because they're scared for whatever reason. Some people, to protect others, is their ideology or their mindset or way of thinking. So you got people being deceitful, lying. That's just freely rolling off their tongue. Some people lie because they're scared. Some people lie to allegedly spare somebody else's feelings. But at the end of the day, a lie is a lie. And a lie, or he say, she said, will never be evidence. Okay. Now let me do the share out on this because I'm going to say something quite natural. Hopefully the playback is smooth. I am using Restream instead of Zoom tonight. The last few days I've been using Restream and some other software, but let's go.
Cuomo was just dismissed. He appeared in court virtually as a judge dropped the only criminal charge, a misdemeanor charge against him. Our government affairs reporter Melissa Russo followed the developments. She's in the newsroom. Melissa.
David, the court dismissed the misdemeanor forcible touching charge against former Governor Cuomo after the Albany district attorney said that prosecutors simply could not meet their burden of proof.
Good afternoon, folks.
During a virtual criminal court proceeding today, ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo made the necessary appearance, showing his face for just 3.5 seconds.
On behalf of Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is here with us as well.
Prosecutors said they could not prove their case, so the judge agreed to drop it.
The within complaint is hereby dismissed.
This case has now been shown to be what it always was, which was a blatant political act
Minutes after the judge adjourned, Cuomo's attorney surfaced to trash his accuser, Brittany Commisso, who testified that Cuomo grabbed her breast at the governor's mansion in 2020 after a previous pattern of what she called inappropriate touching.
He really pulled me in, and I remember his hand just sliding right up my blouse.
No jury would have found Miss Commisso credible. That is why this case was dismissed.
But earlier this week, the district attorney himself said the complainant in this case was cooperative and credible, but that prosecutors could not meet their burden at trial.
An accuser's words are evidence. They are proof. So Brittany's words are evidence, which the DA himself said was credible. And that should be enough to send it along for a jury to make that determination.
And in a lengthy statement issued this afternoon, former Governor Cuomo's spokesman said that we'd be hearing a lot more on his behalf. He said, quote, "For the last several weeks, we've remained silent while the process played itself out. Do not confuse our respect for the justice system with acquiescence." And then he added, "Stay tuned." So, of course, some will wonder what that means. Could Governor Cuomo be thinking about jumping back into the race for governor? I suppose we'll soon find out. Gilma?
Melissa, will be watching. Thank you.
He's going to sue. Now I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Just because she said he did that doesn't mean he actually did that. Okay? She could be telling a lie. Just because she said it doesn't make it evidence, and it doesn't make it factual, and it doesn't make it true. Now, prosecutors, you know you didn't have a case when you filed the charges. That's what I have to say to them. Okay, so let's get to it. Because we believe in forensics over here, all type. Electronic forensics, biological forensics. We believe in all types of forensics, period. We believe in science. And the science that proves a theory or a hypothesis out. She had on a shirt, right? True or false? A blouse is what she called it. She had on a bra, true or false? This is according to her words. Well, little Miss Missy, if you had on a bra that he touched and you had on a blouse that he touched, you better run the forensic from his hand prints off the bra and off the blouse. Let me pull it back and say it again. Because we're talking about evidence right now. I don't care what she said. She had on a blouse that she alleged his hands went up. That means you're going to have his DNA on the blouse. She had on a bra that she alleged he touched. That means his DNA is going to be on the bra. Where's the bra and where's the blouse? You could not have come to me, and I'm supposed to be defending you as an attorney, without any concrete evidence to substantiate your claim, to back up what you were saying. Run your blouse and run your bra, and we'll see who fingerprint impressions and who handprints are on them. See, this is not the year for people to keep lying and taking these bogus cases before others, because it's going to blow up in their face. And I, for one, believe that if a female lies on a man about a sexual allegations, she should serve time in prison. Again, I believe if females started serving time for filing false reports and false claims against men, letting them know you're going to do at least 2 years right off the back. If you come in here and you lie on a man, that's 2 years, right? That's the starting point in prison, right off the back. No parole. 2 years flat, no parole. At least 2 year minimum, no parole for coming up in here telling these lies. You will start to eliminate some of these bogus cases. Claims. Yeah, that's right, I said it. And vice versa. If a man is going to take a female to court and lie on her, same principle applies. Unfortunately, however, in the United States of America, we see more women historically lying on men and getting away with it. No. Sit 2 years in prison and say lie. Pause for a minute. Think about your actions. Again, I don't find her credible because she said it. That doesn't make it so. Where's her evidence at? If he touched your blouse and he touched your bra, run the DNA off of it. Run it. Right. Cha-cha muffin. Why, boy, you've been conspired against? It is unfortunate. It's disgusting. It's downright diabolical. And it's unnecessary. I mean, ladies, let me explain something to you. And this is not for regular subscribers or anything like that. This is for the onlookers and the bypassers, and not the frequent ones. The ones who are sporadic, who may just be bypassing and hit this mark right here. If a man doesn't want you, or a male is not interested in you, and you can't weave him into your little trap, let it go. Let it go. If he don't want you, he don't want you. Give it up and turn it loose. If he's not into you, he's not into you. On your walking shoes and walk away. If you don't want to walk away, glide away. If you don't want to glide away, skate away. Because lying and taking somebody in court because of bogus cases is not it. And you will stop it as soon as they hit your head with prison time without parole. If it don't fit, don't force it. Relax and let it go. Some of these situations, these women are just, the man jumped you. Period. He was never interested in you. He's not into you. And you're trying to force a situation. If it don't fit, don't force it. Relax and let it go. Save yourself some headache and heartache. Period. It's just that simple. It's a decision. Nothing more, nothing less. No. And that was free. Hi, Miss G. How you doing? Happy New Year's to you, Miss G. Again, I don't know if I said it before, but I'll say it again. Happy New Year's to everybody in the chat. And so, it's a discussion to be had, but more so than discussing the fact that the judge dismissed the charges against Cuomo because the prosecutors didn't have enough evidence to substantiate their claims. a solution to this problem needs to come about. And so I await for Andrew Cuomo to do what he's going to do. In my mind, it's not a question of if he's going to sue certain news stations and others. It's a question of when. And by the way, while we're talking about lawsuits, let me say this. Formerly known as Facebook, Meta, they are being sued. And this is a lawsuit that I believe that they are going to lose. Meta, aka formerly Facebook, are being sued because during the one of the George Floyd protests, a protester, a U.S. citizen who was out there participating in their First Amendment rights, was killed. And the family is saying it's the conspiracy that took place on Facebook that led to such actions for this to get out of hand, to spiral out of control. And so they have their electronic evidence that they will be presenting. This is not a case where you're saying this social media platform violated my First Amendment rights or a constitutional rights that the Supreme Court are not going to stand by. This is something totally different. And so I do believe that Meta is going to lose their case. And Facebook/Meta will finally have to pay up. Again, I am for the Communications Decency Act, Section 230, being completely updated and a comprehensive law being passed by Congress to hold all telecommunications, technology companies, and communications companies responsible for their actions and them no longer having immunity. And that includes YouTube/Google LCC. I don't care who it is. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So, now, circling back around to Cuomo, I fully expect for them to sue. I fully expect for him to sue. I expect for him to turn around and sue the state. I expect for him to turn around and sue news stations. And I expect for him to sue certain individuals. Mac Boy, you said the judge was right. Women will put innocent people in jail for a bag. Here's the thing with that. Those women don't have integrity. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, from my perspective, if you sitting up lying on somebody for some money, you don't have no integrity. Integrity is what you do when no one is around and no one else is watching. You don't have a bit of integrity. You don't have a solid foundation. If you can be bought for some mere money, which is a tool. By the way, I think people really need to put money in its proper perspective. Money is a tool to be utilized. Money is a tool. It's a financial tool. Okay, so put it in perspective. And so for those women who would lie, and it's been plenty women who have lied on men and set them up for money. They never had any integrity or character to start with. And it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, some people call it karma. I don't call it karma. I call it sowing and reaping. If you sow a seed, if you sow an apple seed, or if you sow a green seed or mustard green, collard greens, or whatever. Whatever seed you sow, you will reap. I call it sowing and reaping. Sowing and reaping is a universal law. So those women who sow those seeds of deceitfulness, maliciousness, callous-heartedness will reap what they sowed. But the thing about sowing and reaping is you never reap exactly what you sowed. You always reap more than what you sowed. That's a universal law too. You sowed a little seed and then you get to reap this harvest from it. So why it may seem like women who participate in such activities are getting away, it's just a matter of time. And when it's time to pay the piper, or when it's time to pay, or when some people like to say the old cliche, when your chickens come home to roost. Hey, Fire Mama. No, you're right, Wild Boy Mac. It's nothing wrong with having money. It's something wrong when you let the money have you. Like I said, money is a tool. Money is a financial tool, okay? Money is a defense on this earth, and wisdom is a defense. It's nothing wrong with having money. It's when you let the money have you. Not only it's when you it's when you will do anything to make a buck. And again, you put a word in there, to get the bag, to get a bag, because social media, and it is a common term, you always hear, I gotta get the bag, I'm getting the bag, I'm getting the bag, I gotta get the bag. You can come on social media, to different social media sites, and they are paying content creators, and content creators can get a bag. But what you see on here, what I've seen on here, in the sake of people getting bags, is I've seen people lie on others to get a bag, and other people not use the full extent of the law that they could use to shut that person down. I've seen people come on here and attempt to intimidate other people in the sake of getting a bag, or stuff like that. Or they kind of like some people come on here and they like to pick on people to get the bag or whatever. Like I said, people come on here and we're talking about women lying, lie on somebody to get a bag. You don't have no integrity. Those people don't have any integrity. I'm not going to lie to get a bag. Because if you tell one lie, you'll keep having to tell a lie to get a bag. Okay, if they started off lying, they're going to keep lying. Especially if they get in a tight situation to get a bag. 9 out of 10 times, they will break under pressure to get a bag. At the end of the day, a good name is to be chosen over all the riches. I'd rather have my integrity and my good name. And don't get me wrong, because ain't nothing wrong with the cash. Nothing at all. But when it comes to integrity and having a good name, I'll choose integrity and the good name over somebody dangling a couple of dollars. I don't care how much it is in my face, especially when I have a brain, a thinking brain, a creative brain, an inventing type of brain, a discovering type of brain where I can create some stuff and get a bag that way. Oh, I got a bunch of ideas that I know will pop just like that. Slow and steady is the course. It's not a sprint for me, it's a marathon. So again, Mac, I'm sorry that those things happen to you. And people have preconceived notions because they like to group all women together. We're not all the same. And they like to group and categorize all men together. We're not all the same. Everybody has different DNA and different genetic makeup. We're not all the same. We don't all think the same, even though there may be some similarities. So I think the disadvantage comes when you put everybody in a box. No, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Okay? So again, former Governor Cuomo that's dropped. Let me play it back again. Let me play it back again because I need to hear it. They don't have evidence. And again, they didn't have the evidence if they didn't have the DNA coming off her bra that she touched, and they didn't have any DNA coming from her blood. It would have been a no-go area for me. Okay, where is his DNA on your blouse and your bra? And by the way, well, she probably waited, but she should have preserved evidence if she was going to come back with this. Anyway, Monica Lewinsky, the evidence, if you're going to come with a case. And I'm not attempting to be funny, but she held on to a dress with the DNA on it. Stop playing. Monica Lewinsky, the evidence. Let's back. If these women go, if you want to substantiate your claim, you better hold on to it. Here it is again.
The groping case against former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was just dismissed. He appeared in court virtually as a judge dropped the only criminal charge, the misdemeanor charge against him. Our government affairs reporter Melissa Russo followed developments. She's in the newsroom. Melissa.
David, the court dismissed the misdemeanor forcible touching charge against former Governor Cuomo after the Albany district attorney. Prosecutors simply could not meet their burden of proof.
Good afternoon, folks.
During a virtual criminal court proceeding today, ex-Governor Andrew Cuomo made the necessary appearance, showing his face for just 3.5 seconds.
On behalf of Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is here with us as well.
Prosecutors said they could not prove their case, so the judge agreed to drop it.
The within complaint is hereby dismissed.
This case has now been shown to be what it always was, which was a blatant political act.
Minutes after the judge adjourned, Cuomo's attorney surfaced to trash his accuser, Brittany Commisso, who testified that Cuomo grabbed her breast at the governor's mansion in 2020 after a previous pattern of what she called inappropriate touching.
He really,
Now, I'm not attempting to be funny, but from a technological perspective, I'm going to let my technology degrees weigh in on this. My experience having created user interfaces and different software programs, okay? And use different software programs. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And our eyes visually reads everything in an upside down E. That's the way we visually look at things. We see things as an upside down E from left to right. I'm looking at this picture. What I'm seeing is her pressing herself and wanted to be seen. That's the way I'm interpreting this. If I had to interpret this picture, these images of her, it's her being all up on him. It's not really him leaning in. It's her, and you could see braziers standing up. The girls are standing up. Her braziers are standing up. And excuse me, because I'm getting ready to get a little graphic, but gonna keep it classy. Standing up and all president, all like, why are you standing that close to him? Because you can see his posture is telling a different story, and her posture is telling one. Now, see, before I finish this, letting this play, now, one of my good friends, I remember years back when her son was a teenager, and so it was I who was dropping her son off and some of his friends to this party in Southfield, Michigan. And so I'm there, I'm dropping off, and they cool, they got their own way home. They're, right back home, and instantly I only have one child. She's a female, she's a daughter. And so I'm dropping them off, and they get out, and this young lady, some teenager, come running down, and she pressing all up on them. I said, oh. I was like, I'm not his mama. And honey, a different person who's dropping him off today, get all that up off of him. Get all that up off of him. Bag back a little bit and get all that up off of him. That was like, ooh. That was like, okay. And I said, I meant exactly what I said. Get all of that up off of him. Because at the end, and I can go in full lecture mode. I taught, so I could go into full lecture mode. Excuse me. If something happened at this party and she come back and said you did whoop whoop wop, they coming for your head, not hers. They'll come for your head quicker than they will come for her head. I'm gonna need you, little thing, to get all that up off of him. Period. I was in the driveway, like, typical me, wanted to jump out of the SUV and run up the driveway, but I didn't. And they was like, dang, it's like that. Well, his other friends had to get a lecture too, because they was in there too. I'm the driver. I'm the one dropping you off. If something happened and something should go where I will be the last adult that's seen you all. And so, yeah. And other questions following. What other adults are in the house? I'm going to need to see them. They better come to the door, do something. Something. But then sometimes you can have adults there and they don't be worth the hill of beans in terms of taking authority over a situation. And I'm going to leave it right there. Hey, thanks, little mama. You said, why wait so long? Some women genuinely have been assaulted and sexually abused, and psychologically it takes a toll on their mind. Okay, and they don't want to relive that moment all over again. And that's why some women wait. Some women wait so long because nothing has happened to them and they was lying on the onset and they just gonna continuously lie. Now, again, going back to the story, like I said, and people can call it being overprotective. But I was a little bit different when I was with males because, see, especially teenage males, people could call it overprotective or whatever. But at the end of the day, I used to tell them all, they'll come for your head quicker than they will come for anybody else's head. And so, no, don't put yourself in a situation for anything to reflect back on you in a negative manner. And if I'm present, run down like a football player and jump on somebody. So that's the way I wanted to do that teenage girl, but she was a minor. And I wrote that window. I was like, hey, get all that up off of him. Bag that up. Bag that all the way up. Bag that. I was like, and it was like, oh, he's not that. He like my brother. No, not the way you just hugged him. That wasn't no brotherly hug. All up on him with all that. In that little bitty. Oh, okay. Let me let it play. Let me let this play. Let me let this play. Let me let it finish playing.
Pulled me in, and I remember his hand just sliding right up my blouse.
No jury would have found Miss Camiso credible.
No, some of them would have.
That is why this case was dismissed.
But earlier this week, the district attorney himself said the complainant in this case was cooperative.
I don't care how cooperative she was. You didn't have no evidence. No burden. You can't meet your burden of proof.
They are proof. So Brittany's words are evidence, which the DA himself said was credible. And that should be enough to send it along for a jury to make that determination.
And in a lengthy statement issued this afternoon, former Governor Cuomo's spokesman said that we'd be hearing a lot more on his behalf. He said, quote, for the last several weeks, we've remained silent while the process played itself out. Do not confuse our respect for the justice system with acquiescence.
Acquiescence.
And he added, stay tuned. So, of course, some will wonder what that means. Could Governor Cuomo be thinking about jumping back in the race for governor? I suppose we'll soon find out. Gilma?
Melissa will be watching. Thank you.
And what I said was he getting ready to sue everybody. You want to be running around with based off allegations, speculations, conspiracies, and theories, not following the evidence. I think what he coming with is suits, and rightly so. So again, to the men out there and to the mothers who have males who probably never looked at it from this perspective. You got to make sure that your young sons have the same protection that your daughter has. Because usually it's the males that get trapped up, and tangled up in a trap. Yeah. They'll get caught up into some type of sexual trap and spend their lives in prison, which could lead them to spending their lives in prison behind bars for something that they've never done. We see it all the time. And so, no, ma'am. When I'm with teenage boys, I'm cautious both ways, be it my daughter or be it a teenage boy. I'm going to be the same amount of caution, but a little bit more aggression with the males in terms of, and like I said, I ain't trying to mess up your swag or nothing like that. I'm trying to make sure you don't end up behind some type of bar. Right, Mac. Right. Men and women, flirting, Mac, from a male's perspective, they can end up in court. So do you really want to be sitting up trying to flirt during this era? And you know everybody have a camera phone or something. And then you end up in court behind what you deem to be a simply flirting with someone. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I look forward to these lawsuits that Cuomo gonna put in against people, because when you defame somebody's character and slander their name, and it's completely unwarranted, by all means, you should be sued. So, all right. Yeah. So, having said that, this is it. I've been out all day. My body is winding itself down, so I'm gonna wind this and wrap this live stream up. But I wanted to make sure that as I mix this week down, as I mix down the week, like I'm on an equalizer and a turntable, I'm mixing down the week, which is Sunday, which is really the start of a new week. Or some people say it's the end and some people say it's the beginning. I definitely wanted to circle back around to Cuomo because it is a lot that has taken place by a movement called the Me Too movement, Time's Up movement. And a lot of those women some of those women worked their way into that, and they were liars. They had no credibility. None of those things ever happened to them. It's always been bogus, and they need to go to prison behind what they did. So you had a spear woman come in, piggybacking off of the movement, taking it over with nothing but lies. So I'm all for a woman going to prison for lying. If you're going to file a false claim on somebody, lie on a man, and they end up in court, or anybody. It could be a woman to woman, but usually it's a woman to a man. I'm all for them doing at least 2 years in prison without parole. And that'll start eliminating some of that foolishness. So, having said that, thanks so much for streaming, everybody. You have a pleasant evening and a pleasant day, and stay actively engaged. Make sure you look out for voting right laws in your own state, in your own city, locally, statewide. Make sure you're looking out for that. Also, make sure you're understanding what the $600 IRS for Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App is commercial accounts, that the way that I'm understanding it, but I need to read through the entire piece of literature or rule as it is written up. And so, because, I've seen a lot of people, even last year, was talking about $600 and then you're going to get hit with, then it's got to go to the IRS. But the way that I read it in one regards, commercial accounts, but I want to make sure that I have that right. So I'll make sure that we discuss that, where I post a video or something about that too, with the legislation, just looking at what it is so people can simmer down. Because I said, okay, if it's commercial accounts, then 9 out of 10 times, most people don't have a commercial account. It's just a little personal account. And for people who use that for their business, you may have to go back old school and do direct deposit from one person's bank account to your bank account. They can fill out the form and deposit the funds directly into your account, to their account, or you may have to do a workaround. Google Pay I used to like using Google Pay because it wasn't a fee. I haven't used it since they updated their app in terms of transference of funds. So I don't know how it is to date, but it used to be, free. And I don't know that they're included into that. They had all the other names in there. So we'll take a look at that. Now, with that being said, right, Cha-Cha, I saw you all, I see what's going on in the chat. You all have a pleasant evening and a pleasant night. Thanks for streaming, everybody. Bye-bye.